The IELTS speaking test is one of the 4 parts of the IELTS test, along with listening, reading, and writing. And it's about 25% of your overall IELTS score. It is an informal interview between you and one examiner to assess your use of spoken English. It lasts between 11 and 14 minutes, and it has 3 sections called Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. In Part 1, the examiner introduces themselves and checks your identity, passport, or ID. Then they will ask you some important questions about you on your everyday topics such as your hometown, your family, your work or studies, your interests and plans. There are no right or wrong answers. How can you get ready for this part of the test? Be prepared to introduce yourself and talk about things which are personal to you. For example, your country, your hometown, family, studies or work, what you like doing in your free time, or what you might do in future. A good way to revise for this part is to create vocabulary mind maps for each common topic. In Part 2, you need to talk on your own for 1 to 2 minutes. The examiner will give you a card and you must talk about the subject which is written on it. You won't know the subject before the test, but again, it will be about you and your personal experience. For example, you could be asked to describe a person you know, a place you have been to, an object you want, or so on. After the examiner has given you the card, you will have a minute to prepare your thoughts, and you can take notes or draw mind maps to help you with your presentation. Then you will talk for 1 to 2 minutes, and during this time the examiner will say nothing. At the end of the time, the examiner will ask you to stop and may ask you a follow-up question. Then the test will move on to the third and last part of the speaking test. In Part 3, the purpose is to see how well you give your opinions and thoughts on general topics beyond your personal experience. The topic is connected to Part 2. For example, if your topic in Part 2 was describe a teacher you had at school, in Part 3, you might be asked about education in your country. After a few minutes of this subject, the examiner will ask you some more questions. These questions are usually about things in general, talking about ideas, giving opinions, expressing different views, but not about you or your personal life or experience. After these questions, you can relax. The speaking test is over. So how does the examiner mark your speaking? There are 4 marking criteria and they are equally important. The first criterion is fluency and coherence, which means do you speak naturally and easily and do your ideas connect? Secondly, we have lexical range, which simply means vocabulary. Do you use a wide variety of words and phrases correctly? Then we have grammatical range and accuracy. How many different structures do you use and do you make mistakes? And the last criterion is pronunciation. Do you use correct pronunciation in your words and sentences? Thank you for choosing Afcare Hub for your IELTS training. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that when next we upload the new videos, you'll be the first to be notified.